Hi there, Pirate Pandas. Today is World Backup Day, and so I thought it would be cool to show you how you can create professional backups of your WordPress page totally for free. So let's find out. This here now is our new website. We are going to want to back up. As you can see, it's a pretty nice page. It's one of the Blocksy starter pages I just installed because I was a little bit too lazy to build a website just for this purpose. So as you can see, we currently have here a very small set of plugins. And it's a very small website currently. But nevertheless, even small websites need to be backed. So we start with creating our backup space first. And there are several different locations where you can do this. And I will talk more about backups and the rules you should think about in a specific tutorial. So if you don't want to miss that, consider subscribing and click the bell icon so you get the notification. To use a good backup space, I want to use Backblaze. Backblaze is one amazing company. They really offer a lot. As you can see, I'm using Backblaze myself, but for today I want to show you how we can start with using it. Backblaze has a B2 cloud storage. In their free tier you get 10 gigabytes for free for your backup buckets. It's pretty amazing. I'm also using Backblaze to back up my own system. It's pretty cool there too. For just $7 a month, you can back up as much as you want. There's no limit. And they have really good solutions. But for today, we are interested in the cloud storage. And because of that, let's sign up now. So we need an email and a password. I created a mail for this. So let's copy this one and let's generate a secure password. So we want to back up an archive and password, and that's it. Okay, now we created our Backblaze account. And in this account, we now have 10 gigabytes to store our website. So to do that, you work with buckets. Here we are in our bucket overview and simply just click on create a bucket. And now we're getting asked some things. So first of all, the unique name. It really has to be unique, because even if you just name it, for example, WordPress or something like that, some other folks already named their buckets WordPress, so we can't do that. So I'm calling this one now WebRadar Tutorial Backup. I want to have it private, default encryption. I want to enable the description. That's really important and amazing too, because if you use external backup solutions like this way, Backblaze as a cloud backup storage, and you don't want to have troubles with the GDPR or data security of your users, for example, if you run a shop, very important. That way you can ensure that no one at Backblaze can look into your backups, so you don't have to worry about that you have to create any special contracts about data storage and stuff like that. Object log you can do, but for the moment we leave that one disabled. and let's create the bucket. Invalid, oh yeah, we can't use empty spots, so we have to write everything in one word. There we go. Now we have our backup bucket ready. So let's go back to our website, and we need a plugin to do so. Well, if you look around for good backup plugins, question is, what's a good backup plugin? If they work, they more or less all do the same. But I will go on that rant on a later day. As I said, there are a ton of backup plugins out there. For example, let's just type in backup and see what comes up. You can see there is a lot going on. Problem is, all these backups more or less cost you at some specific point, especially if you want to use an external backup space. So we are going to use Xcloner. This is a free plugin, and it has everything we need for our backup solutions and to create a perfect backup cycle. Okay, now we have Xcloner here. If you're interested in, you can also have a look on their website, so you can see it's really a completely free service. Even if you want, you can't give them money. Now let's set up our backup cycles. Here you have some general options. This is very important. The backup encryption key, that's your another layer of security. So let's generate a new password here and put this one in. Backup log, yes, you always want to know what was happening during a backup, and here up there you can trigger how hard the compression should be. If you have a smaller website, you can leave the leather at the left side, so you don't use any compression at all. Usually that's good if you want to have your backups as fast as possible. If you run a larger website, you might want to consider to squish it a little bit down, so you save storage on your backup space. Here you can leave everything as it is. What I'm going, you can also turn down here the email notifications. If you set up a cycle, it's very often it can get spammy. On the other hand, you might want to know if something went wrong, so better leave it on. Next thing is the storage location, and as you can see, Xcloner offers us a ton of storage locations. For our situation, we want to use Backblaze. Okay, and now we need to fill out some things. Let's go back to Backblaze. Here we have our bucket settings. We need the name of our bucket. Backup bucket name. This is the bucket ID. So we need that one too. And to let your WordPress installation access your cloud storage, we also need to generate app keys. We have here now the master application key, but you don't want to use that one. We are going to add a new application key. Name of the key will be WordPress Backup. Here you can, if you run more than one bucket, you can limit down what bucket it can access. Here we want it to be able to read and write. And the rest you can leave as it is. Now let's click generate new key. Here now we have the key ID, which goes in here, backblaze key ID, and the application key that goes in here. Then let's hit verify. All seems good. Let's save the settings. One important thing you shouldn't forget, now we have entered everything here, turn this backup solution on, save again. Okay, now we have our external backup location. So now let's check our managed backups. Currently you have nothing in here because we haven't created any backups yet, but here you can see you now can have also a look into your Backblaze bucket, and as we can see it could connect, no error messages, and we see we currently have no backup on Backblaze as well. So let's start to create our backup cycles and set up the schedules. For this you click on generate backups, and one very important thing in the backup name, don't use empty spaces, always use lowercase bars like this one here. Okay, here you can say from what point on the backup should run. We're going to use this for everything, so no need to change this here. So that we know what this first backup cycle will be, we call this one full backup. Encrypt backup, yes, we want to do that. Backup comments, send to remote storage. Here we put in Backblaze. You can also choose to delete the local copy after the transfer. You can do that, but if you want to restore, it's faster to have it on your local storage. So your local storage is backup location 1. Backblaze would be your backup location 2. So there's no need to delete them. You can do it if you really want to keep your web space clean, small, stuff like that, but there's no really need to. Second, the database options. Here we have to select the database to include into our backup. So we want to use everything. So I'm going to hit both databases. Next is the file options. There we have to look out because here you click what you want to exclude. So if you want a full backup, don't hit any check marks here. We want a full backup, so nothing to exclude. It's a little bit tricky. In 2 you have to say what you want to include, and in the files you have to say what you want to exclude. Then let's go to the schedule backup. Full backup of your whole website usually isn't that necessary, so we call this one now weekly, and schedule backup to start on. I want to start it on Sunday at AM 1 in the night or 12 at the night. Scheduled frequencies once weekly. Save the schedule. And now we can here hit generate backup. And as you can see, it starts scanning the file system, checking out how many files we have, how large is everything. After that, it will scan the databases, and then it starts putting everything together into a zip file. And that's it. Our backup is done, and let's check on Backblaze in our buckets. Browse files. there we go. This is our full backup just generated, and as you can see, automatically transferred into Backblaze. So let's check our managed backups here. There we also see our managed backup. There you can download it for local storage, for example. You can sync with Backblaze. You can rework the description, or you can delete the backup. The decryption, pardon. Okay, so now we have our backup cycle 1. So just to check out, let's go to Backblaze, and there you can also see our backup, and there you have can choose to download it or you can delete it. Okay, now we have here in our schedule now our weekly backup. That's where we back up the full website. But you also want to have at least one more cycle. So let's click on generate backup, and this time we will call this one just database backup. Same settings. We want to encrypt the backup, and we want to have it on Backblaze. Database option, we again want everything in here. Files option, now we hit this one because we don't want to have any files into this. Scheduled backup, we call this one database. And how often you back up your database is something you have to think about on your own. Because let's put this one to 12, and frequency, for example, once every hour. This is interesting if you run, for example, a shop. You want to make sure that you back up new orders, and though if the worst case scenario happens and your website or your server gets a meltdown, you at worst lose 1 hour of backups. If you run a store that's so busy that you need real-time backups, you should think about to invest some euros or dollars into a backup solution. But well, this one, it's free, and 1 hourly backups, if you have a busy website and several sales, should do the trick for you. So we have once hourly, call this one backup hourly, and save the schedule. And here let's generate the backup just to make sure everything runs smoothly. And as you can see, the database backup was working also. And now we have here now our backup. Let's check Backblaze. Also, we have here now our backups. So as you can see, the database backup just comes with 5 megabytes. So it's pretty small, so you can back up it very often. And if you think about, you now run once a week the huge backup, full website with around about 260 megabytes, and your database backup has 5 megabytes, it takes some time till you can fill up the free 10 gigabyte storage here in Backblaze. And you have to think about, you don't need to keep these files indefinitely. You can turn on here the lifecycle settings. And now let's say, for example, we keep our backups for 3 days. So everything that's older than 3 days will now get deleted. So your storage will be constantly cleared. If your website really is as small as our demo website right now, you can also go up to 14 days, for example. That way you can be sure if something bad happened a week ago, for example, you can still look into the backups and find, for example, files that haven't been changed. And then you can restore specific files that got damaged, for example, or stuff like that. But the important thing is you have a completely and full free backup solution with every bells and whistles you can have. I hope it helped out, and if you liked this tutorial and if it helped you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. There are lots of more cool tutorials in the future. So, bye bye.